Lip balms, lip butters, lip balms, lip butters, lip balms, lip butters, lip balms, lip butters, oh yeah!
Okay. Welcome to Lip Balms, Lip Butters, the podcast. My name is Mika.
And my name is Zoe.
And we're here to guide you through a very immersive experience as we talk about, life, real things,
just going through the world in crazy times.
and occasionally
We'll try out.
a lip balm or a lip butter
Yep.
and let you know exactly which ones are balm.
Or butter.
So welcome to the channel. We hope that you can settle in, grab a drink,
Listen to our relatable stories.
Chat with us and learn.
Do it.
about lips. The first lip balm / lip butter that we will be trying. Little camera.
Vaseline. It's the cocoa butter one. I've had it literally for over a year and it still is poppin'.
We're gonna be putting this on our lips. And we'll give you a review at the end of the episode. We'll let you know if she lasts the test of time.
Today's episode is about
College.
and also when it doesn't totally go according to plan.
Because it never does.
No.
We're 4-year college dropout baddies, but we do
also
attend
community college.
Yeah, community college. So
it's pretty epic.
we're still in the wheelhouse,
Yeah.
Anyways, but crazy experiences. So I went to the University of Southern California for music. I was in choral music, which is like singing, and yeah.
I went to Chapman University for 1 semester. I was studying theater.
Oh wait, I didn't say. Oh, did I say I went for a year?
She went for a year.
I went for a year. 1 semester, 1 year.
Both in Southern California.
Both in SoCal.
SoCal. It's not really.
It's kind of so boring. Anyways, so we're gonna kind of delve into our experiences at each separate college and just what we can relate to.
There's dogs in this house.
So who let the dogs out?
Who let the dogs out?
So today we're going to delve into just both of our experiences at our separate colleges, what we could relate to, and just kind of like giving people an idea of what it's like to take like such a non-traditional route in terms of, education at this age.
And I think there's this really like big societal pressure that just kind of grows each year about like where you're going to college, and like it's kind of like,
you feel like you got to figure it out.
You feel like you got to figure out, and it feels like really big about like what people think of you. It's like, oh, where are you going? Like, oh, I'm going to Yale.
Oh my god, you must be so smart.
Like, oh, I'm going to community college, and they're like, oh, good for you.
Which community colleges are good.
Community colleges are
They're really good.
And like not expensive.
It's cheap AF.
It's cheap AF.
I'm saving a bag.
And it's like so much more convenient.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways.
So as I said before, I went to Chapman University for theater. And my specific major was a theater BA. And at Chapman, there are 3 sections to the theater department. There's the theater BA, Theater Bachelors of Arts, theater performance BFA, BFA meaning Bachelors of Fine Arts, and then there's a screen acting BFA, Screen Acting Bachelors of Fine Arts.
Okay, bachelors.
Yeah.
Which one are you gonna choose?
Which one are you gonna choose? There's just this kind of toxic culture at Chapman in the theater department that if you were a BA, you were less good and less, deserving to be there.
Well, fuck the hierarchy, because actually it's so high school.
It's so high school, and it's so like, oh, well, I had to audition 3 times to get here and you didn't. Well, okay, because I didn't choose your major,
Exactly.
It's like I chose the major I wanted to be in here, because the thing with the BA is that you have so much more room to add things, and it's a lot more broader, whereas BFAs are very like specific and very focused, which if that's what you want, that's great.
Yeah.
But it's just really weird when people look down upon you for the major that you chose and see you as like less than.
I feel like I had like low key, and I'll talk about this in my section, but like I feel like I had the exact same experience
Yeah.
with like vocal arts opera versus choral music because
Right.
vocal arts opera was like more kind of intense
We know
and
someone doing that.
so. Oh,
Oh,
anyways, continue.
I'm not dropping
Continue.
names.
Continue.
Anyway, yeah, that was my main thing with Chapman. But I mean, it's also in Orange County, which I didn't fully
The
think about.
OC.
The OC, I didn't fully think about it before going there.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of like got in early action, so I was really excited, and I think I kind of just like decided that I was gonna go there because I got in early action. It felt really secure, and it was a good program, and so I was
Yeah.
kind of like not blinded, but I was a little bit blinded by just like the excitement of getting
The
in
culture
somewhere.
shock, though.
Yeah, to not really fully comprehend where I was going.
Yeah.
And then I toured a bit after, and I really liked the campus, but it's really small and it gets boring really quickly. So obviously, my first time there was really interesting, but
Mm-hmm.
I think I like places that are larger, that there's more going on, and Chapman's pretty small. And in Orange County,
The OC.
the OC. Yeah, you might have heard of Chapman for its film school, Dodge College of Film and Media Arts, which is where the Duffer Brothers went, who
Okay,
created Stranger
Stranger
Things.
Things. Not me being literally
Yeah.
the Stranger Thing.
And so there's also this toxic culture of the people in the film school being better and being cooler, very cliquey, and, it's a fairly, wealthy school. The tuition is pretty high. I was lucky enough to get a bit of a scholarship, but it was still a lot of money. And so, with a lot of money, they have a lot of resources. And so a lot of the film kids get to go on actual sets and do all this cool stuff.
They get more resources than your program.
Yeah, they get more resources than the rest of the school, basically.
Lame.
And so that was frustrating. And with the screen acting major, which is like specific to screen acting, even though their major is specific to screen acting, I totally understand that.
Mm-hmm.
It felt like they were the only ones who got opportunities to act in film, where like, if you're learning about acting, you should be able
You want
to
to be
do various
multifaceted.
stuff. Yeah. So just an overall very clicky vibe, Orange County, and I just didn't like the vibes there.
Bad
Bad
juju.
vibes, environmentally, socially, and I also just didn't feel like I really clicked with anyone in my year. I made two really good friends in the year above me who are also theater BA majors, and they're amazing people. But it was like, my cohort of people in my year, I just didn't really like,
Yeah,
FW.
I get you.
I just didn't really,
FW.
I just didn't really, you know,
Just didn't gaff.
just didn't, fudge with them, and
No gaffs could be given.
no gaps could be given, and a lot of them reminded me of people in high school that I just like didn't really like.
Yeah.
And so that was another thing. It's like you go to college to escape the stuff in high school that you really didn't like, and it didn't feel totally like that. Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, that was really interesting. I didn't know that about the funding and stuff.
Yeah.
Cool. Alright.
Hi, everyone. I'm Mika, as you know, and I went to USC, University of Southern California, for 1 year. Zoe only did a semester. I did a full year over there. I was a music student in choral music, which is a singing major, and it was kind of one of the worst experiences of my life, I will say. But I did learn a lot, and I'm glad that I was able to, know what I want and get that kind of understanding, which was really good. But basically, my experience was just like very, very similar to yours. So, USC it's a very competitive culture, which I think I don't like because I'm not a competitive person, I don't think. Like when I would do sports in high school, like I was always like recreation, not like on a team or anything. Um so I really didn't like the competitive aspect of it, but of course like at an institution with like that much prestige and stuff like that, it's like it is going to come with, academic competitiveness because of that. And I was ready for that, but I wasn't ready to kind of like get put down,
Yeah.
Like I was expecting like, oh, this is
It's your
going to be
peers, like they're supposed to be supportive.
exactly. So I was like, oh, but it's going to be competitive. Like we all want to like do really well, but like they're still my peers. That wasn't the case. I found out my second semester that a bunch of music students were like throwing parties for the holidays, and I didn't get invited, which is like that's no big deal because like I wasn't like that good friends with the people that were throwing, but I did come up as a conversation topic, which piques my interest. And my friend told me about it and basically just said like that they were talking shit about my voice behind my back,
So rude.
which is like
Like, you're all at the same school.
we all got here. We're all here, baby.
You're also all different
like,
people. Like, everyone has a different voice.
You literally,
like,
y'all have different majors than me,
yeah.
and you're still gonna tell me that I'm worse when we're in different majors with different focuses.
Yeah.
Because basically, the people that were like talking about me were all vocal arts opera, and I'm choral music, which is kind of like the less intense and more group singing rather than like solo performances and like creating your identity as like a performer and like all that stuff. It's less intense in that regard. But I really didn't expect to get kind of like put down so soon into my experience at USC. So that was a big thing that contributed to me leaving because I was like, if I'm stuck with this cohort for the next 3 years and these bitches are talking about me behind my back, it's like, do I want to even be here anymore?
Yeah.
And it's not to say that I didn't make friends. Like, I made one really amazing friend that was actually in vocal arts opera, and she was the one that kind of like informed me about the stuff being said behind my back. And she's amazing, love her. And I also made one other random friend. I don't even remember how I made friends with him. So I only had like 2 friends. I lived with my roommate though. My roommate was like awesome. So I had like 3 friends if you count my roommate. That is just like, it's not that much. It's not that many friends, you know? People get busy. So I was definitely like suffering socially. It was not boost the house. It was literally like I felt so alone and I felt so looked down upon and I felt so inadequate. And it was just a really kind of horrible culture to kind of be in with all these feelings.
Yeah, I bet.
Once I let my professors know they were really supportive of me, they had similar experience in their undergraduate experiences. I think a lot of people have this exact experience.
Definitely in arts.
Which is really, especially
up.
in the arts. Yeah, I think it's a really good thing that we're like talking about it because it's such a common phenomenon, and I think that people don't realize it's so common. Like, people do drop out of college, people do find other paths, and it's just like, you know, it happens.
Yeah. Just like people don't know how to live their own life, and
exactly, they care too much about others.
They care too much about others, and obviously, you know, there's this concept of like, well, it's just coming from a place of insecurity. But at the same time, it's just like,
you should be an adult.
You should be an
able to deal with
adult.
that.
You shouldn't be like a mean jerk just because you feel
like
insecure.
I was in high school. I literally felt like I was in high school, and it's like so I left high school to come here, and now I'm just back.
Yeah,
which is like, no wonder I fucking left. Like, if I could leave high school, bitch, I'm gone.
Yeah. Community college. It's really epic.
It's actually really awesome.
It's so awesome.
I love it.
I love it so much.
I genuinely just love it. It's such a... I love the chill-ass environment. And I love how, like, if you do your work, like, as in, like, if you go to rate my professor and shit, your classes will be rigorous.
You can just, like, make your classes good.
Community college, if you do rate my professor, you can find
rate my professor is so important.
It's really important. It's a must if you're... I mean, it's a must if you're at any college, really.
Always.
But, like, I would say specifically at community college, just because some of the professors are, like, a little less, you know, invested. It's really important. Exactly. You can create, basically, the education that you want.
The schedule's also so chill. Like, most people I know either don't have class on Monday or don't have class on Friday or don't have class on either and have a 4-day weekend every weekend, which is like, you know,
4-day weekend,
so
4-day
cool.
bender. No. And the resources.
The resources are amazing.
Like, the counseling, they canceled on me the day of.
Yeah.
I was like,
Mika got canceled on. She got stood up.
I got stood up the day of for my counselor's appointment, which doesn't happen. I will say
it's very rare.
That doesn't.
It is hard to get an appointment with a counselor, but once you do,
busy.
They were very helpful and they very care. They very care.
There's also like financial aid offices. They're super accessible. There's like the food pantry is really good if you need groceries or anything. They offer like a lot of free groceries to the students because they know that people are at like different stages in their life with different incomes and stuff like that.
That's another thing in terms of like different stages in life. Like there's people who literally like are retired who are just taking classes for
Just to
fun,
learn.
and it's so awesome. Like just the diversity of people,
You
like
can
not
learn
only
so
like
much.
gender, sexuality, like ethnicity, but also age, which is like not something you expect like to be apparent, but it is, and it's really awesome.
But it's a great experience because it's like these people that are like retired or
Mhm.
like adults, like they know so much.
They know so much.
Having all of these like adults and these like retired people and these people that are working at like these real jobs, they write amazing stuff. They write things that I couldn't even conceive of. Like they come up with ideas that are just so amazing, and I'm just so lucky to be able to hear these perspectives at this institution. It's really
Yeah.
amazing. I feel like you really miss out on that when you're at a 4-year college and you're completely kind of surrounded by a cohort of your class or your grade or whatever.
Totally. I definitely just like, I really appreciate that. And it's also nice because a lot of people in community college like kind of grew up in the same area as you, or you will see a lot of people from your high school or from other high schools,
which could be good or bad.
which could be good or bad. But there's also international students, there's people from other states. It's just like awesome. Like you still get that experience of people coming from different places and like
Exactly.
getting to know all these different life experiences that people have had. And also, okay, I can speak to this because it's a recently occurrence. It's
a recently occurrence.
It's a recent occurrence. But like making friends is definitely something that people I think worry about when going to community college, and that it's gonna be less social. And it is true that it is a lot less kind of openly social. You don't have that kind of.
You're not like forced into it.
You're not forced into it.
Or,
people
like,
aren't really. Yeah, you're not guided into it.
Colleges do.
Yeah.
Like, orientation shit.
There's less of the
you.
feeling that everyone's starting like new and everyone just wants to make friends. Most people at community college just want to go to class and want to learn and then want to go home. But it's not impossible because there are also people who want to make friends and are just, shy or also afraid of that kind of thinking. And you just kind of got to talk to people. Like, there's people in my classes who, there's people in my classes who I chat with during class or after class who are cool, and then eventually, like, you're just like, just ask them in person, or if you have their Instagram or anything, just like ask them to hang out, and then you do, and it's awesome, and you have new friends. It's
scary,
super
but
easy.
It's easy.
And the best way to bond with someone who you don't know at all is to complain about something. If you're in class and you're sitting next to someone who you're like, wait, they're kind of cool, just be like, the homework was so annoying, or like, oh my god, I haven't done the reading, and then they'll either be like, oh, I did it, I can help you out. Exactly. Or they'll be like, oh my god, I know, right? Then you literally have such a good conversation because you're like, it just can go anywhere. That's not to say that like all of what you say should be complaints, but like it's a good start, like just a light
or just like talk about
hearted
class.
Or just talking about class.
It's
and
like a common
if
topic.
It's a cool class like philosophy, which is like one of my classes where I've made friends in, it's like you just kind of talk about the concepts. You're like, wait, this is so weird, like I've thought about this but I didn't realize that it's philosophy, and now it's like, whoa, just like yeah.
And also we're talking about how some people come from this area, and we actually are these people because we like grew up in the same city as our community college. And this is kind of like, this is very subjective, but Bay over SoCal.
Yeah, Bay over SoCal.
Bay
is better.
The culture is just so
also the ocean.
The
nature,
the bay,
the air, the air is just like really important. Like I feel like it kind of goes like it gets taken for granted, but air in SoCal feels very like smoky, like, artificial. There's just so many cars,
and the weather is like, it makes it worse because the hot air
and the concrete is just like
melting, and the smell.
Yeah.
But in the bay,
trees
and rain and clouds
water
and
fog.
Exactly.
Carl the Fog.
Who?
Carl the Fog?
Who's Carl?
Carl is like what people call the Bay Area Fog. That's like his name. There's an Instagram account. Really not, like, look it up. Carl the Fog.
Go follow Carl the Fog on Instagram. Is it just like Carl the Fog? It's K.
Oh, it's verified.
Yeah.
Carl the San Francisco Frog. Frog.
Frog.
Fog. All that is sunny does not glitter. Not all those in the fog are lost. Yeah, he's real.
He's real. So there's Carl, you know, he's your buddy.
He's
He's
not
always
even in
there
any of
for
the
you.
photo. Oh, here he is. See, isn't that gorgeous? You don't find shit like that in SoCal.
No.
It's not findable.
It's like brown dirt and like dead trees. One kind of briefly summarized cool thing about California community colleges is that after 2 years or 3 years, it just depends on how fast you get your credits done, you can transfer to a UC or CSU, and some of them have
With a
guaranteed
confirmed position.
admission. Not all of them. LA, Berkeley, and San Diego do not have guaranteed admission, but the rest of them, if you follow a specific curriculum and you get the requirements for your major you're transferring into, then you have guaranteed admission.
Which is kind of crazy.
Kind of
because
crazy.
You can literally end up at a 4-year.
And then you
so
spend 2 or
quickly.
3 years there and you get your bachelor's.
Yeah, it's easy. It's cheaper.
Cheaper.
Cheaper shortcut.
It's also kind of nice to have it like broken up in
Okay.
2. Like if you're someone who likes change and feels like you would
Yeah.
get bored at somewhere for 4 years,
It's great because then
it's split up.
keeps you on your toes.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's really great. A lot of students use that, and it's a really great system.
Mm-hmm.
Just sucks that it's not called.
Yeah.
But the transfer rates are pretty.
The transfer rates are
regardless.
higher. So if you are like trying to transfer to like UC Berkeley, they have a pretty high transfer rate and they're pretty like cool about it. So you still have to write, you know, your like personal insight questions, and if you just like do well on those, you get a little involved at your community college, you have a pretty good chance.
Yeah, but also it depends on what community college you go to.
Yeah. Also your major.
Yeah.
Some majors are impacted. Like if you're doing like engineering, trying to get into
Comp
engineering
sci.
or comp sci.
Okay. Now back to the Vaseline. We're gonna give.
I think it's fantastic. I use this every day.
Girl, let me finish. So we're reviewing the Vaseline after recording a whole episode. Zoe, would you like to go first?
I use this every day. This is like my thing, so I love it. That's all I gotta say.
This is my thing. You know, I was a little put off by the thin texture because I like
Yeah, that's
more
fair.
thickness. But when it's on the lips, it doesn't bother me. The thinness of it. 'Cause I think it's like genuinely like hydrating.
Do you hear her?
Vaseline's also multi-use, multi-purpose.
Yeah.
So that's also one.
So if you like have like, you know, your hands are dry, you can use that, or
Yeah,
if you have like ear dryness here, I use Vaseline for that.
all around. I would rate the Vaseline probably, you know, it's solid. I would honestly give it like an 8 out of 10.
10 out of 10 for me.
All day.
All day, every day.
All day, every day.
Thank you so much for joining us. We hope that you will join us.
We're talking
In
like
the
we're
weeks.
not real.
Thank you.
Thank you
so much for joining us.
We hope that you really enjoyed all of our topics of discussion.
We are going to be making more content in the weeks to come, so stay tuned for that. We'll be talking about, you know, current events, gossip, more stuff about us, just all that jazz.
Lip balms and lip butters.
And of course, lip balms of butters.
So we will see you next episode.